Om. Om. O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God. May God never leave us. Om, peace and love. Om, peace and health. Om, peace and enlightenment. Om. So in this prayer, the word peace came up 6 times. And so today we are speaking about peace and how we can get to peace, how the world can come to peace. All of this is a very huge subject. But the first thing that I would like you to learn is that peace means harmony. If we are in harmony, we have peace. And that's the key word to that. And then along with that, with harmony comes equanimity. And that's a word that is used in the Bhagavad Gita constantly, yoga of equanimity. And that is how we get peace. But to balance, balance and harmony, same thing, balance. We have to balance negative and positive karmas, and not just our personal karmas. We have to balance negative and positive karmas, our racial karmas, our family karmas, our ancestral karmas, our world karma. All of these things have to come into balance before we can really have peace. And it's a very involved process. And I like to talk about personal peace first and foremost, because that's the one that we are usually think about when we say peace. I want peace of mind. Well, peace of mind, usually people think of terms of peace of mind as where the mind becomes quiet. But just because your mind is quiet doesn't mean it's peaceful. If it doesn't run around, doesn't mean you have peace in the heart. You might just have the mind quiet, but it does not mean there is peace in the heart or peace in the feeling. So we have the physical body, so you need to have peace in the physical body. We have the mental body, we have to have peace in the mental body. And we have the etheric body, our emotional body. Okay? So peace is in our personal peace, we have to work with all three. And the most difficult one to work with is our emotional body, because the emotional body affects all the others. It trickles down from the emotional body, and it comes into the physical body. So your mind might be peaceful, but your physical body is not peaceful, then you will not have peace. And then we have, what kind of peace are you looking for? Are you looking for peace in the mind? Are you looking for peace in your family? Are you looking for peace in the world? What are you looking for? Your personal peace. What do you define as your personal peace? That is also. I like to define my personal peace and how I feel inside. But other people define personal peace in the family unit. Having peace in the family unit. So, we seek peace, or we endeavor to keep peace through actions, by settling disagreements, things like that. That is not really getting peace. That's temporary. Peace comes only when you activate the spirit within you. It's the only time there can be peace. You noticed, let's talk about the world. We've had many wars and we have not reached any peace. We've had many conflicts and there has been no peace. World War II was supposed to be the end of all wars because it was a world war, and we will have peace. Didn't happen. It will never happen, because in order to have peace, it has to come from this inside of humans. It has to come from the divine, from your spirit, from your from inside of you. And it cannot be attained through emotions. It cannot be attained through ego. It doesn't work. Peace does not work that way. And if you're trying to get peace with another human being, it has to come from the heart. And you have to stop judging and things like that. So it's a very difficult thing to get. It is a vibrational energy of our spirit automatically has peace. So we have to tap in to the spirit, because spirit, our spirit, the world spirit, the generational spirit, they all have spirits. The spirit is always trying to work out the best for all involved, for everybody involved. And so the balance has to come from us. We have always said, peace starts with one person at a time, you. The world cannot be in peace until the majority of people come to peace. Then, about 20 years ago, I heard this rumor. If less than 1/2% of the population has peace, there will be peace in the world. Less than 1/2%. Of course, that's millions of people. But if they generate that peaceful energy from the heart center, peace will happen in the whole world. Okay. And if we go back to our indigenous people, they always knew, our indigenous people knew that peace came from the heart. And they celebrated peace. And if someone was not peaceful, and if somebody had a problem, they would come around and they would powwow around and tell that person how wonderful he is and how God's soul is within him. They wouldn't ostracize him in order to get his mind peaceful. And once his mind is peaceful, his problems walked away. So we have come very far away from peace. And right now, with all the turmoil that's going on, with all the things that are happening around us, not only in the governments, I'm not just talking about our government and the whole world. What is happening? Most people are not feeling any peace because you're constantly involved in this. So then I say to you, find peace within you. Know what's going on, and I've mentioned it every single sunshine lecture. Know what's going on, but don't get involved. I mention it every single time. You have to know what's going on. But don't get involved. Because, and I mentioned it the last time, we are a spark of the divine. And our energy at this moment is needed to be that 1/2 of 1%. It's as simple as that. And if we get involved in thinking that we can do something about this peace and push or talk about it or whatever or go against it, then we're feeding it energy. We have to come off our high horse thinking that we can do something about it by doing, which does not work. Doing does not work. By coming inside of ourselves, finding peace within us, not just mental peace, but peace in the heart center. And that kind of peace does not come from your mind. It does not come from your ego. It does not come from your thoughts, your mental thoughts. It does not come from your emotions. It does not come from loving another human being and then not loving another person and hating another person. That duality has to go, because we can have love for somebody and we can have love for ourselves, but then we might not have the same for somebody else. So peace has to be firmly established. So we have that duality, and there's always going to be a shadow side. And once you understand that there is always a shadow side, there's always a good and an evil. We wouldn't even know what good was if we didn't have evil. Isn't that interesting? We wouldn't have type if there wasn't black and white. This life right now is a polarity. We'll always have this. But by higher vibrational energies of the spirit will always, always work for the highest outcome of all. Now, to understand that we are here to move and learn and experience and create. This is what we need to understand. This is the most important part to understand. And the divine resides within everyone. And for us to conceive, to even intellectually maybe, that all are one, because God is omnipresent, all are one, but for us to perceive that in a whole unit is almost impossible. How can you perceive that I am one with a tree? I am one with an animal. I'm one with the mice that I don't like in the house. How can I perceive these things? Intellectually, I can say God is omnipresent, but I can't perceive it. So the only way I can possibly even think about it is to perceive it within me first. And then maybe in the people that I love, but then they're going to aggravate me, and then I'm not going to think about them being peaceful. Okay? So we have this constant battle. Constant battle. So how do we get out of that battle? Personally, I think Ishwa Pranidhan is the best method. Knowing that if we take our ego out of ourselves and we work towards the goal of going towards the divine, and we take the ego out, that I am better than somebody else, if we remove the ego and we just pursue with humility our goal, and know that the divine will help, and always will. The divine always will help if we allow it. And that's the key, allowing the divine to help. I just want to give you a little history lesson. This always comes into my mind when I talk about peace and not judging and things like that. In 1985, we had the Cold War still between Russia and the United States. And then Reagan met with Gorbachev in 1985. And I remember that scene so well. I think it was in Geneva. I don't remember where it was. And Reagan came to the place first. And so he went inside, he took off his coat and everything else. And when the car with Gorbachev came out, and there were many steps leading up to it, you could still see it in the picture. I have the picture. And when Gorbachev came out of his car, Reagan, just in his jacket, not even his coat, came down very quickly to the base of the stairs to shake the hands of Gorbachev with a smile. Now here are enemies, and that was the end of the Cold War. Isn't that interesting? If you start thinking about that, how he approached that with just a handshake, and he could have waited upstairs. He could have waited inside. He didn't. He came down the stairs to come and to welcome him in, and it's not even in his own country. Okay. When we have an open heart, when we have loving energy, and not judging others that we are better than they, we can achieve miracles. And that was a miracle. That meeting was a miracle. That was the end of the Cold War. Isn't that interesting? Just think about that. That is giving you, and that is two countries coming together. Not war. Not one is better than the other. Okay? Of course, Reagan was a showman. But it also, you saw that he meant it. You saw that he meant it. Okay? But I never forget that picture, because it showed to me that when you come down with humility and two people that are not peaceful together, and you both then can work together. Not, I am better than you, and I can show you how to do this better. This is what countries do. This is not good. It doesn't work. And that was a momentous occasion. Similarly, with our own family, very difficult to live with others. Extremely difficult. And that is how we have to approach them with you. We're one. And let's work it out. It has to come from the heart. It has to come from no judging. When it comes from that, the divine energy will come down. It is called grace. It is called grace. Will descend. And grace is your own higher self. it will descend and make it work for you. And that's the only way to get peace. That is the only way to remove the karma that I talked about, the ancestral karmas. We have to make peace with ancestral karma. We have to make peace with universal karma. We have to make peace with all of those. It can only come from the heart center. Otherwise, it cannot come. It's as simple as that. So if you come to yoga and you tell me, I want peace of mind, I can say, well, we can practice meditation. And we can practice mindfulness. And that will give you temporary peace of mind. But it will not give you permanent peace of mind. Permanent peace of mind can only come when you work on yourself and you allow the divine within you to bloom. That's the only time personal peace can come. And you will not have it. And Ishvara Pranadhan means I bow down to the divine within me, within you, because everybody has that divinity within them. And I trust God to take care of me. It's a trust. It's a trust. And that can give you peace of mind only. Otherwise, you can have it for a little while, but not for any length of time. So peace is very difficult. Now, let's say I have peace within me, and I live in a society, I live with people. That does not mean you can't set boundaries. That does not mean that you approve of everything. That does not mean you lose your identity. That does not mean you might get angry. None of that, but there is a peace inside of you that, with other words, you can deal with all the situations. Okay? And you might fly off the handle at one point, and then you come back to peace, to your center self, okay? So your heart-centered spirit has to inspire you during your daily life. Isn't that interesting? Your heart-centered spirit. And you have to set energetic boundaries. You have to shield. You have to create a shield of creator light around you. When you are with people that will affect your peace, you just create a shield of creator light around you. Because there are people that cannot stand that you have peace. They go trying to knock you down. Okay? So you just set a boundary around you. And listen to the whisperings of your soul and your higher self, your guardian angels, and so forth. Because we were not left alone here. And if you can't listen, if you can't be quiet enough to listen, you will feel like you were left alone. You were left out in the cold. You weren't. God gave you a guardian angel. He gave you guides. He gave you all sorts of things. But we have not listened. He gave you a body elemental to talk to. All of those things. And we just shut our ears because we started working from the mind, not from the heart. So, how do we get peace? Go in here. Excavate the heart. You will find it in the middle of the heart. Peace. All right? So there. And you know, when you go inside and you trust and you know that everything that happens to us is in divine order, it is for us to grow, and we sometimes need a little push, we need a little upset in order to grow. A seed has to break through the ground to grow. Okay? Everything has to happen, so just trust the process. And if you trust the process that God, you are in divine hands, then you will have peace. And with that, I'll close. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.